Hello, and welcome to Beyond Curriculum, the professional development series for ASC tutors at the College of the Siskiyous. Today, we'll talk about positive behaviors that you can encourage and model for your tutees. Now, one of the first things that you'll want to encourage in your tutees is classroom attendance and engagement. Obviously, one of the most important factors in student success is to just show up. But it's actually not enough just to show up at a class. Once you're there, it's important to be an active participant in that class and to take advantage of that environment to ask questions and to engage in classroom discussions. So encourage that in your tutees and model that yourself. It's great if your tutees see you going to your classes and showing up. Also, a lot of students are reticent about using their instructor's office hours. Sometimes they just don't want to be a bother to the instructor, or they feel that maybe they don't have a big enough problem to warrant going. But really, instructors want you to use that time. Generally, people go into the teaching profession because they want to help people to learn and they want to be a resource for learning. So, encourage your tutees if they have a question about the curriculum. No question is too small to knock on an instructor's door or drop into their online office hours and ask any question, or if you have a concern about course materials or attendance, anything like that, your instructor is there and available, and it's important to use them as the valuable resource that they are. It's also a great idea to encourage study outside of the classroom in tutoring sessions. You don't want the class and maybe one or two tutoring sessions a week to be the only time that a student engages with the material. They need to look over the material more frequently than that, study on their own, or form a study group. In fact, in fall of 2020, the Academic Success Center will be using the Pisces online tutoring platform, and students will be able to organize an online video study group. And this is a great option if students can't physically get together for whatever reason. They can get together on Pisces and have a study session. So that's something you can encourage in your tutees. And also suggest to them that they engage with the course material every day and do a thorough review once a week. So every day, if a student just looks over their notes or opens up their textbook and looks at the chapter summary and maybe the bold notes that are in the margins, just to refresh the information in their mind, it really helps to keep that information from stagnating and to kind of keep it at the forefront of their memory so that they can access it and build upon it as the course progresses. Encourage students to ask questions. Asking questions is important. Developing a mind of inquiry is a really valuable thing to do as a student. Encourage students to ask questions while they're reading. Tell them to wonder about things, even make notes in the margins, talk to the text. Encourage students to ask questions in class. Many students are shy about raising their hand, but explain it to your tutees in this way. If they raise their hand and ask a question, they're actually providing a service to every other person in that class. Because every time someone asks a question, chances are many other people had that same question. They just didn't want to raise their hand. On the flip side of the coin, you may think of a question that no one else has thought of, and it's great that someone brings it up in class and it provides an opportunity for learning. So ask questions in class, ask questions of classmates. Engaging in meaningful discussions about course material is another way to keep thinking about the material, and it helps you to learn the material more thoroughly. And of course, ask your tutor. A tutor is a great resource for questions, and as a tutor, you should never ever be concerned about not knowing the answer to a question. You simply need to be the person who knows how to find the answer to that question. So please don't feel like you need to know it all. You don't. You just need to be a good resource for students to come to with questions and be willing to help them to find the answer. Modeling and mentoring study strategies is important. Working with tutees on how to be a student is very valuable. And this isn't just for, say, high school students who are learning how to be college students, because there is a little bit of a learning curve there. But it's also for, say, non traditional students like myself. I was not a student for 34 years, and I decided to go back to school. And I needed to learn how to be a student again. And working with tutors was a really terrific way for me to understand what the role of a student was and to embrace that more fully. And it really helped me to be successful in my classes. Helping with time management strategies is another valuable thing that you can do for your tutees. A lot of people want to manage their time more effectively, but maybe they feel overwhelmed by what they need to do. And it helps if someone can break down all of the different things that you can do to manage your time. Setting goals and finding strategies to combating procrastination are just two things. And those are actually two topics of videos in this series. And those particular videos will be made available not just to you, the tutors, but there will be a version for students as well. So you can use that as a resource for promoting time management. And encourage the use of planners. So whether a student wants to use a paper planner or their phone or some sort of an app, it's important to have some place to write down when their assignments are due, when exams are. In fact, I suggest to all students within the first couple of days of a class, get out the syllabus, set aside a little bit of time to go through the course schedule, and take all of the important dates, dates when papers or assignments are due, dates when exams are happening, and transfer those into a planner or put them in your phone and set a reminder. You can set a reminder for a week ahead so you remember to study for an exam. So planners are really valuable. Active reading is another um, thing that you can promote to your students. It's a way of engaging with reading material that makes the reading more effective and really helps in learning the material. There's a whole video devoted to active reading strategies. Once again, that will be available not just for tutors, but for students as well. So that is a good video to check out on active reading strategies. Note taking is very important in classes. You can create a really excellent study guide for yourself, but note taking is not genetic information that we're born knowing how to do. Definitely, some people may have a natural skill for it. Other people may need to look at notes that other people have taken and look and see how other people organize their notes and get ideas for how to take notes. Note taking is another topic of one of these videos, and that will also be available for tutors and students alike. And I would suggest watching that so that you know how to teach your tutees how to take good notes. And if you encourage and model these behaviors for your tutees, you'll be helping them to achieve academic success. So thank you for everything you do at the Academic Success Center, and thank you for watching.